So anyway, we start the test program with some thrilling CGI. It was 1994. It was new and exciting. We see the full sync up of the brain interface. We see what the brain interface shows gold, and we see, a classic, a staple of Macross, a bunch of missiles flying around all crazy.
So many missiles.
So many missiles, and what happens is, of course, Gould is able to use his brain interface to activate his auto dodge, his 8 points of auto dodge, and he dodges them all. And it's really cool looking. And then the missiles are like, "Oh shit, we missed our guy. Let's just shoot the camera pod, the camera pods." A thing that for dummy is totally a thing you just expect dummy missiles to do, not just.
They're just not.
Like, whoever designed the dummy missiles was like, they could just pop off or stop flying at a certain point. But no, they'll lock on to the chase camera. So now Dyson, who is in a older machine laden with extra fuel pods and camera equipment, is like, I have to also activate my 8 points of auto dodge. Hello and welcome to Is That Some Kind of Japanimation Thing, a series that is Canadian enough to put the little flag on our cover art for this season, but not so Canadian to ever, and I mean ever, review Akagate no Ann nor Anne Shirley. Not happening. There are 3 Anne of Green Gables anime. We are never talking about them. Ever.
Come on. No. Canada Day special. We're doing an Anne of Green Gables anime.
They're long. They're like, okay, Anne Shirley's probably going to be short, but like the original one from the 70s is long. They like do all the books, kind of.
Oh, God. I didn't know this. That's why they keep going to PEI.
Oh, okay. So the real story is that like Anne of Green Gables, the novel, was like the first book, one of the first books translated for children, for like young readers, translated to Japanese. So it just became part of the middle school curriculum for decades. This is a show where I explain parts of Japanese and animation history to my friend Justin. My name is Scott.
And I am.
And we are going on to season 2, where we will be talking about the perils of artificial intelligence, music and society, living in space, Shinichiro Watanabe, and Keiko Nobumoto. And we are starting our reviews with Macross Plus.
To turn into robots?
Oh, yes. Very important. Cool robots. The second half has significantly fewer cool robots. But we are starting off with Macross Plus, which came out in August of 1994 on VHS and Laserdisc. Yes. This was released in
media.
This was released direct to video as part of the tail end of the true home media boom in anime, and we are going to talk about the history of that. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but we're going to start with episode 1 of Macross Plus, titled AD40, directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, best known for Cowboy Bebop, written by Keiko Nobumoto, best known for Cowboy Bebop, with animation direction by Wase Imishi. That is his fake name. He mostly gets credited as Masayuki. He did the Evangelion movies.
Oh.
Yes, there's actually a surprising amount of Gainax staff sneaking into this at various points as keyframers and other people. Like Hideaki Anno does an uncredited pass in this episode on a sequence. This was the third ever Macross thing. It was for the 10th anniversary, and it was the first time that Tatsunoko and Big West agreed on how to make Macross again, which meant that the original creator, Shoji Kawamori, came back to supervise and do, again, some storyboards. other things involved with that. But before we even go any deeper, I have to say this episode is brought to you by HobbyLink Japan and the Bandai 1/100 scale high grade YF19 Macross model kit. This will run you a reasonable price in your local currency. Thank you to HLJ. It's back ordered right now, but they will hold it in a private warehouse until you're ready to ship it at a reasonable rate. Thank you to the HLJ. And this kit is nice. It's everything you like about Bandai model kits. Great color separation, great playability. This thing does transform with a bit of part swapping, unlike the Hasegawa kits. It has tremendous articulation, tremendous posability, a fun set of effect parts, and yeah, you can visit the link in the description to try it out because they really showed off what they could do with the part swap transformations on this compared to what they did with Super Robot Wars. Not that I'm mad. Anyway, you can also back this series on Ko-fi. Ko-fi will get you, supports us directly. You don't get anything except episodes early. And this time around, we are launching the new campaign mode on Ko-fi, which means that enough people back it. I will explain exhaustively every legal fight in the Macross franchise. I am talking about Hasegawa versus Tatsunoko. I am talking about Harmony Gold versus not Hasegawa. Hasegawa versus Fasa Gameworks. That's one. We will talk about Big West and Tatsunoko's fight. We will talk about Harmony Gold versus everyone. We will talk about how episode 4 of Macross Fuss has different music depending on where you bought it due to legal issues. Other guest appearances include possibly George Lucas, former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, the guy that invented Power Rangers. It's a big field. I don't know where this is going to go, but if enough people back us on Ko-fi, I will find out and tell you all.
Now, by invented Power Rangers, you mean the guy who imported it to the States in a manner not dissimilar from our own Carl Masek? God rest his soul? Okay.
Yes, not,
I was thinking, did you meet the original?
No,
whatever.
No, not the guy from Toho Studios. I don't think he fits into this at all. I do believe this is about Haim Saban and Wasserman. Wasserman, the guy who wrote the X-Men song. I mean it. So, Justin, let's start with what you remember about Macross.
It was an anime. It was one of the 3 that Harmony Gold brought together in a fashion which didn't upset anyone to form the larger Robotech series. I owned a couple action figures for it way back in the day. I read some comic books. Could not. This was decades ago. Decades. Yes. Your grandparents, folks, can tell you about it. It is a thing which existed, and a lot of people have very strong opinions on it. Very strong. And God bless them. Our passions are what keep us alive. Right. So and there are robots and aliens and possibly a woman who sings. No, there's definitely a woman who sings. This is the one with a woman who sings. And robots and aliens. And aliens can't take it. They can't handle the singing woman. They're like, what's going on here? What are these feelings? It's like asking a robot what love is. And the robot goes, I don't. And yes. So that's what a Robotech Macross. Excuse me. Those are different things. We don't want to get into that conversation yet. That may be a bonus feature. So Macross, aliens, protoculture. Is protoculture actually a Macross thing, or is that something they invented for Robotech?
So it is a thing. It's just different in both versions. In Macross, protoculture is just assuming some sort of ancient ancestor to all species. The space sperm theory of intelligent life. In Robotech, protoculture is a drug and also the first thing.
Well, I mean, the first thing could be a drug.
Yeah. Anyway, so my background with Macross is I don't like it. Part of it is just the singing. It does depend on you vibing with Shoji Kawamori's taste in music a lot of the time, which means the more recent ones are not good. Or to me, I do not care for them because they depend on pop idol groups, and I don't care for that. The other thing about it is that really the first two things I saw about Macross are this and Macross 2. And this is brilliant and beautiful and an enjoyable thing to watch. Macross 2 is hilarious in its awfulness, especially in the dub format, which they are apparently fixing / ruining, depending on who you ask, because they're redubbing the character that is the most charmingly Narmy. So anyway, I got to experience the best and worst simultaneously, and literally no other Macross has lived up to it. So yeah, this is me. It's also very unfair. It's very unfair because Macross Plus is upsettingly good, and it makes everything look bad. It's a lot like Cowboy Bebop that way. If you watch Cowboy Bebop first, you're like, ah man, what do you mean all anime isn't this good? Why do I even bother then?
The medium is let down by its highest quality.
Yes. So there we go. This came out in 1984. It was released by Manga Entertainment in 1998. It was somehow got away with it. Just I don't know how. Harmony Gold was busy with Silvio Berlusconi, I guess. So they just let this come out, and it came out with a dub. This dub is not available. We'll talk about how it's released now. But it came out with a dub. The dub features one baby, wee baby Seinfeld era Bryan Cranston as Isamu Dyson. Yeah. There right now you can buy a version of this on Blu-ray with the dub. The version out right now is the Fancy Dan Super Ultra Special Edition. That's $200 Canadian. I almost bought it, and then they said, "Okay, once we run low on stock on the Fancy Dan edition, we're going to release a regular Dan edition." And I'm like, "Oh well, I will wait for the regular Dan then." That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And right now, you can watch, depending on your territory, you can either watch most of Macross on Disney Plus, the place where anime goes to die, or you can watch it. If you're in America or Japan, you can watch it on Hulu, which is
essentially the same thing.
It's same ownership, same formatting, same structure. And what we have to talk about when we talk about the Disney Plus version is that you do not have a subtitle track. You have a closed captioning for the hearing impaired track. Which
is that what I was watching?
Yeah, that's what we both watched. It's not to neg on the hearing impaired or anyone that uses closed captions for other neurospicy regions, but it does mean that there's a bunch of extra stuff just on the text line that subtitle fans are not used to, and they can be distracting. Like when the suspenseful music starts, and I hear the suspenseful music, but I also have the little box telling me the suspenseful music has started. Also, it labels character names if they speak from off screen, but very often they don't actually use the character names. They just use, oh, that's a scientist. What's the scientist's name? The scientist's name is Marge, or Lucy, who is just credited as researcher. It trips me up. It trips me up. They also subtitle all the songs. The Japanese language songs, they translate to English. The French language songs, they write in French. The Zentradi made-up science fiction language, transliterated.
Did they say at any point that Bowman's an alien?
In the second episode, they do.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
Because I stumbled on it while flipping through something, and I'm like, I mean, the pointy ears were a hint.
Yeah, the pointy ears are a bit of a hint. Like you are kind of supposed to recognize that people with green hair and weird skin tones are not just an anime thing. They're the aliens in this, because you're kind of supposed to be familiar with Macross even a little bit, but also because it's a Watanabe show. There's just backstory that they're only going to elide at different points. So sometimes you're like, am I missing this because I haven't seen Macross, or am I missing something because he's never going to show me the full context for this flashback, because that's what he does. That's how he do Watanabe.
That's artistry. Artistry. Yep. Jesus Christ.
It's technique.
Yes.
Yeah. So we open on a beautiful hillside with someone singing, and we see two young men doing something that is very dumb. They have developed some sort of self-propelled flying machine that needs a second bicycle to launch it. It is a glider / bike that someone else also has a bike that launches it. And it's a stupid thing that I kind of love. I love it. If this was a real thing you could build or make, I would have tried it and then died.
It adds a failure point, I think, that isn't necessary. There needs to be another way around it.
Yeah, like there are self-propelled gliders. There are gliders that incorporate pedals as part of a motivation system. But like, maybe you just put a ramp at the bottom of the hill, buddy, and you don't need your friend to also be pedaling a bicycle at the same speed as you to get this launched. I don't know.
Design choices, they were made.
They were made. But the song is lovely. The landscape is lovely. Everything is lovely. We are presented with what we learn is an idyllic past. And then we smash to the title, AD 2040. And, we see some people and some transforming giant robots. And what do? They fight other robots. Because robots,
yes,
they are drawn to violence against robots, inevitably. It is like gravity. Robots must fight
robot
robots.
on robot violence, Scott. Why? Why
must the robots fight? Because they don't know love. They don't understand feelings. A theme that'll come up in a minute. And we are introduced to our main character, Isamu Dyson, again, voiced in the dub by Bryan Cranston. I cannot overstate this. This is something that, like, it's just like, periodically it comes up, like, especially when Breaking Bad got big, people would just be like, hey, remember that time he used to be in Robotech? Because he was also on the dub of Robotech as a minor supporting character. So
this was before his appearance on Babylon 5 as well.
This would have been, so recording this in 94 or 95 would put him in the range where he was like on episode of Seinfeld every second or third season as dentist Tim Whatley. Tim Whatley, who converted to Judaism for the jokes. That episode, yeah. Anyway, Dyson is really Dyson. The thing about Dyson is that his ego is writing checks that his body cannot cash. He is some sort of rogue
he's a loose cannon and he's playing by his own rules, Scott.
Yes, he is some sort of rogue element, some sort of maverick of his own influence. This movie loves Top Gun. This series loves Top Gun so much. So we see that Dyson is just totally stunting, not just on the guys he's supposed to be shooting, but also like his compatriots, his colleagues, his wingmen, the people who he relies on to stay alive, who rely on him to stay alive. A brotherhood, a band of brothers, a happy few who need each other to, accomplish the peacekeeping goals of the UN Space Forces. And no, he's just a jackass who gets people almost murdered all the fucking time. We see this in 2 minutes.
And I literally thought, bayonets in space. Yeah, but they're flying jets that turn into robots. I'll allow it.
Yeah, like it makes sense. It makes sense once you accept the transforming giant robots.
Yeah.
And so, despite the fact that Dyson has achieved all victory conditions, he is dragged into the captain's office. And what does the captain have to tell him? That he's a jackass. He's a jackass who's going to get everyone killed. And so, after a litany, a literal laundry list of everything he's done wrong, he is explaining that he will be transferred. And he explains that, okay, I tried to transfer you to the worst jobs in the Navy, in the Spacey, ever. And you know what the guys who, literally just transport coal out of asteroids said? We don't want that man. Literally, all you would do is drive cargo barges, and they're like, no, we can't have this man on our cargo barge. So Dyson has been transferred back to to New Eden, some Earth colony planet. It doesn't matter where, and he will be a test pilot because, and some ARC words here, A test pilot has no enemy but himself. So, Dyson is like, that's actually really great because a test pilot just gets to hot dog all the time and doesn't have to pay attention to anything. That's exactly what test piloting is, I'm sure. I'm sure there's no paperwork involved. I'm sure there's no lengthy consultations. I'm sure at no point will he have to interact with his spreadsheet. He will just get to be a jackass, a professional jackass. He's so
Yeah, I
happy
mean,
to
you
do
don't have
this.
to report on what happened during the vehicle you were testing. You don't need to fill out post-action. No,
No,
just fly. Just fly.
just enjoy the zoomies. Just enjoy the zoomies. And we see that, we see him landing at New Edwards Base, modeled of course, the real Edwards Air Force Base on New Eden, which is, of course, modeled after San Francisco. Real life references. People took a vacation. They sent the entire staff to San Francisco and Edwards Air Force Base to draw pictures and take notes. And we see that, we see someone else running tests. We see our deuterotagonist, Gould Bowman, who has
Yes.
a very funky cool jet that he doesn't have to use his hands to drive
Science.
through the power of science. Dyson lands. He spots this cool blue jet that is way faster and cooler. He goes through orientation. We are explained that we have 2 cool top secret planes, one of which will become the non-secret plane that everyone will get to use. But we have a competition between Test Team A and Test Team B to see who is the best, who is perhaps the top gun in this scenario.
I will point out my note was he makes Maverick look responsible.
Yes.
So
far,
yeah.
he is mostly like Maverick. Maverick just bothered people. He bothered his colleagues. He bothered the enemy. Dyson shot bad guys. Like we established that he can shoot the enemy. I have not seen the new Top Gun, but I also imagine that Admiral Maverick did not shoot unnamed enemy force either.
I think you might enjoy it. I'm not going to say nothing because I think it's actually something you should take in. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Glenn Powell's in it. The man is just stupidly much going to be a movie star, so it's worth checking out.
All right, I will keep that in mind. I should have rewatched Top Gun ahead of this so that I could have more lines to quote as I recap it. Because I'm going to run out pretty soon. Then Dyson, as part of his newbie orientation, negs the chief engineer because the chief engineer is like 12.
And emotionally immature, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, his name is Yang. He is not a stable person either. Gould interrupts the meeting. He says, he's like, oh, if this is my new rival for the position of Top Gun, you can just send him home now because he has no self-control. Dyson he shows him. Oh, you say I don't got no self-control? I'll show you. I'm going to wreck this fancy desktop computer with my bare hand. I'll show you who doesn't have self-control. Smash.
Do we get now? I don't want to. They're the 2 guys from the beginning.
Yes, these are the guys.
Does that get established at any point?
Well, I think
do we get that?
I think again, as we see the flashbacks and we are introduced to the love triangle, we piece it together, right? Like we are left to piece together the backstory. And I will also say that one thing to look out for in the second half of this, when we watch 3 and 4, Watanabe, when he does flashbacks, he color codes them. So we have seen one flashback with just a bit of color desaturation. Full color, but a little desaturated. That's the opening. Later, we're going to see a flashback that is entirely in yellow and a different flashback entirely in orange. He will use those colors to signal what point of the story he is flashing back to. We also established that Gould has the shakes. He is catching up on his friend Isamu, and he's like, actually, I'm going to develop the shakes for unclear reasons and take a pill about it. More details on that later. We find out that Dyson can't actually test the YF-19 just yet because it's broken. The last guy died in
Mhm.
it, and so he has to wait. So what do we do when we have to wait? We have to go into the can. We have to do the astronaut training thing where you just do simulators. And Dyson does not want to do the simulators. He wants to fly the plane. So what does he do? He ruins the simulator on purpose and
Crashes a
makes
simulator?
yeah. How do you crash a simulator? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
He does. He's a miracle man.
He's writing checks his ass can't cash.
Yeah,
Ah.
for sure. So after crashing it, it's like, well, if I broke the thing, I should just leave for the day. Anyway, hey Lucy, I am going to sexually harass you. You want to come? You want to come hang out with me? And Lucy is like, actually, yes, I'm fine with this sexual harassment in the workplace, I guess.
It's like one of those memes
Oh yeah, the
where,
guy, like the handsome
yeah,
guy
the
in the
chat and
cubicle.
the yeah.
Yeah,
Hello, HR.
yeah, it's very much
Oh my
that.
god, exactly. Is the scientist secretly crushing? Is the creepy, slimy, weird scientist secretly crushing on her too? Tell me he's not.
No, no, he is not. We
Okay.
are going to find out who he's crushing on in a few minutes. So
Yes.
Lucy and Isamu get on his motorcycle, and he does a bunch of dangerous things on a motorcycle for no reason. We have a guitar track, a fantastic guitar track, and this I should take a moment to say that music on this series is developed by Yoko Kanno, of best known for Cowboy Bebop, as you might have guessed. But you know who did not play guitar in this? Tsuneya Imahori, because Yoko Kanno and Imahori haven't met yet. They will meet
Okay.
while making Escaflowne next year. But you can hear how, like, oh yeah, this track is what he learns from her in a lot of ways. As they are driving, Isamu hears from a billboard a familiar song, and we are introduced to Sharon Apple, the pop idol of uh, the future. About now, really. It's Sharon Apple is an entirely virtual AI created pop idol, and we then cut to our third character, our tritagonist, Myung. Myung, who is now working as the producer and a manager for Sharon Apple, a virtual pop idol. There's a press conference, a great place for exposition about how the AI pop idol works and why everyone loves her, even though she's an entirely virtual being. And we are then cut to a red carpet ceremony as Sharon enters the not San Francisco Giants Stadium to set up for the show, and we have a server in a gown walking a red carpet, which is darling. It's kind of beautiful. Like I know, like
Yeah.
now, like Hatsune Miku, people will like the touring staff for Hatsune Miku shows will like hold up her hard drive when they go places. But this is like a whole show that is just like, hey, what if we just had a server rack in dress in full fancy dress? And
I mean,
then
if they had put Hal in a tuxedo, he wouldn't have killed anyone. He'd be
uh,
like, "I'm respected and appreciated."
oh yeah, like if Hal had gotten a chance to, walk the whole thing with the guys with the right stuff in a tuxedo, he'd have been great. If Hal had done a press conference, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hal, the server for Sharon has a single glowing red eye, which is no way sinister. In no way is that sinister. You could have
That's not ominous.
It's not ominous at all. You could have made any sort of case for this server to show off, and you stuck with one that's a little bit evil, like 20% evil there.
I'd go up into the high 30s, to be honest.
Yeah. So we have the road crew setting up. We have the soundtrack. We are introduced to Marge. Marge is creepy from jump, even though all he's saying is like, "Hey, yeah, you can clock out. Your sound check is later." Also, I just fired some roadies because they were not good roadies. I don't know. Unclear why. Unclear. Marge is weird. That's the important thing. We cut back to our date with Lucy. We learn more about the general population's reception to Sharon. We enjoy some scenes from San Francisco at Fisherman's Wharf, Space Fisherman's Wharf. and we decide, yeah, we go to we hear that we should go to up to Star Hill, and because they gonna bang. That's what's gonna happen. The sexual harassment has escalated to that point. At this point, we find out that Myung is also going to Star Hill because that's where she likes to hang out. Uh,
Yes.
Gold is also at Star Hill because it's like, well, if he found out Myung was going to be in town and he knew that she would show up eventually in a total normal, rational ex-boyfriend behavior, totally safe, sensible, not a red flag at all. Your
No.
ex-boyfriend goes announces that he was kind of soft stalking you just a bit.
Hey, what if we both end up in the same place? Just coincidentally.
Yeah. I didn't spend all day waiting. No, sir. We get a bit of allusions to their history and maybe that there was something in their past that made them not get along. We are introduced to the question of why Myung doesn't sing anymore. She used to sing. She used to sing all the time. Now she doesn't. Unclear why. And then Dyson shows up with Lucy, and then everyone gets in a fight because you know what? Iceman does not appreciate Maverick's attitude, and he is gonna hoist him up by his shirt collar and threaten him with violence. They can't solve this with volleyball, not this episode.
Do they have space volleyball?
I imagine there is space volleyball. This is space San Francisco. There must be somewhere to play beach volleyball.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe on grass. There's not a lot of beaches in San Francisco. Maybe they got to settle for grass or clay. Oh, Gould wearing cutoff jean shorts and no shirt. The fight ends inconclusively, and we cut to the next day where we are testing. We are testing the YF-21. It is doing some chasing against a number of things, and
And I'm sure it'll
Dyson
turn out fine. What with
totally
them
fine.
not having any established tension in the last 24 hours.
Yeah,
Not
these
having
people
given
are
them the
totally capable of working together. These will be effective. This is an effective, rational, productive office environment where no one has punched a computer in 2 days.
Can I just make a single observation, Scott? A
Yeah.
single. In Top Gun, there was literally one of the core characters who was a psychiatrist. Now,
Yes.
they may not have treated that character very well in the sense of the narrative, but they existed. They realized that this was something that required careful treatment and maintenance of the mental well being of these fighter pilots. What the hell in space, people? Just get them a better help subscription at the very least. Just like, oh, hey, are you involved in a top secret military testing program with a guy you have had bad blood with most of your life? Oh, and has someone been reintroduced, which has only served to ratchet up this existing tension? How does that make you feel? Those words could have solved so many problems.
And okay, so we are testing the 21. And the 21, as part of the test, needs a bunch of chase pilots running cameras. Dyson is one of these people for no clear reason. Just because he wants to. Maybe it's just because he keeps breaking things around the house. It's like, fine. If we let him fly a stupid camera plane, he won't punch any more computers.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that can happen? So anyway, we start the test program with some thrilling CGI.
Mm-hmm.
It was 1994. It was new and exciting. We see the full sync up of the brain interface. We see what the brain interface shows Gold, and we see, a classic, a staple of Macross, a bunch of missiles flying around all crazy.
So many missiles.
So many missiles, and what happens is, of course, Gould is able to use his brain interface to activate his auto dodge, his 8 points of auto dodge, and he dodges them all, and it's really cool looking. And then the missiles are like, "Oh shit, we missed our guy. Let's just shoot the camera the camera pods." A thing that for dummy is totally a thing you just expect dummy missiles to do, not
They're
just
just not.
like whoever designed the dummy missiles was like, they could just pop off or stop flying at a certain point. But no, they'll lock on to the chase camera. So now Dyson, who is in a older machine laden with extra fuel pods and camera equipment, is like, I have to also activate my 8 points of auto dodge. But it does not go as well for him because he's in a worse machine. And so he's struggling and having he's having a hard time. He's having a hard time. Meanwhile, Gould is now moving on to phase 2 where he shoots a bunch of drones. Dyson interrupts part of the test to, shake off the last bit of pod. And Gould gets mad. Gould gets mad. He can't deal. He freaks out.
Nope.
He has a flashback tinted in yellow to the last time him, Myung, and Dyson were in the same place. And the implications bad. The implications are bad. There are signs of violence. There are signs of everyone yelling at everyone. No details. Not enough details for us to guess, but no, it's bad. And so, as part of his psychic freakout, his brain interface fails, and he just starts dropping out of the sky. And Dyson is watching this. Dyson sees this, and it's like, well, I could help. But Gould is also shouting into the radio to not help, that he has to recover on his own. And we just watch that. We watch him. People in the control room are shouting lower numbers. And eventually, Colonel Millard says, okay, you actually have to save his life. And it's like, fine, I'll save his life. He does a heroic catch at the last possible second. And as Gould recovers, he has what we call in the philosophical world the imp of the perverse. That little bit of you that says, but I could.
I want it. Yeah.
I could just do the bad thing. I could do the bad thing. And then the machine does the bad thing. It generates just enough downforce to pile drive Dyson into the dirt at what I imagine is hundreds of miles an hour.
And he survives, thankfully.
He survives. And they cuss each other out again, and they confirm, and Gould sticks to his story that it is just an accident, and we get the end credits. And that's episode 1. How do you feel about that?
It was interesting. I did ask at one point, is Bowman lost in the drift? So
he's chasing the rabbit, yeah.
Yeah. But it was interesting, yeah. Once again, felt like there was a little context missing.
I mean, some of that's on purpose, because we're not going to see the full... I don't think we ever see the full backstory. Some of it is obviously just like, all right, they're using Macross words, and we got to guess. Like at some point they say reaction weapon, and I'm like, what's a reaction weapon? And it's the nuclear bomb that's better than a nuclear bomb.
Every weapon is a reaction weapon. It's just
yeah, I guess so.
If it's a nuke, I think I did figure out that at some point.
It's some sort of WMD. There's a bunch of science gobbledygook on top of it.
How do you feel about reaction weapons? Not great, Bob.
Yep. All right, so let's get into episode 2. Titled Brainwaves, directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, best known for Samurai Champloo. Written by Keiku Nobumoto, best known for Samurai Champloo. Animation directed by Atsushi Aono, who is probably better known for... He's done a lot of stuff, keyframes, boards, episodes, openings, ends, but I'll just say that he was the chief animator on 40 episodes of Angel Heart, and a special animation credit for the concert to Koji Morimoto, who would go on to direct Magnetic Rose with Atsushi Aono.
It's good that they keep working together.
Tight teams, good times. So we start. Last episode we heard that Myung was going to get everyone guest passes to the concert. So now we have Dyson and Lucy and Yang all going. Turns out Yang's a big fan. Yang's a fucking weirdo. That's what he is. Yang's a fucking weirdo. But they are all going to the big old Sharon Apple show, whereupon we see that Myung is being strapped into a weird brain interface rig, just like Gould.
Yeah, didn't love that.
Then she's strapped into a weird rig, and we see the start of the concert. Gould is brought up for review in front of the Colonel. Colonel's like,
Mhm.
you're really okay? Because I've got some graphs. I've got some graphs from your test flight, and it's like, hey, all your brainwaves say that you did an Imp of the Perverse last episode. And he's like, no, I don't have an Imp of the Perverse. It's a pure accident. Fine, Iceman.
You didn't accidentally drop the baby.
Uh,
You went, what if I dropped the baby? And then you dropped the fucking baby.
you know, I think he's only tolerating it because he knows Dyson's gonna die somehow. And it's like, well, what's the difference between a horrifying stunt-driven accident and vehicular manslaughter at 400 miles an hour? Really, what's the difference to me? But the
Look,
19s,
Tyson's walking and talking. Everything's fine.
we also put together that like the 21 is probably going to be the winner anyhow. So the 19's crashed 3 times. It's cost a billion space bucks. This guy's an idiot too. Like the final decision's going to come down for the 21. So this guy can get away with a little vehicular manslaughter as a treat.
As a treat.
Nothing that the space jag would have anything to say about. At no point are we going to transition to a different Tom Cruise movie about who ordered the code red. Back to the concert. Everyone is having a good time but Dyson, and he's like, but why is everyone having a good time? I don't get it. He does not get it. He does not appreciate the fancy visuals of a truly next century concert. Then Yang says that actually, I'm here to completely subvert everyone else's fun and hack the
What?
concert.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it all about you, why don't you, Yang?
Making it all about him. And then so he breaks the hologram for a minute. And people are worried about Myung because the hologram is broken because they think it's her fault. Way to blame the only woman in the office there, Marge. Marge is a man. He's just named Marge. Not that the closed captions will ever tell you that. Closed captions.
Which are not subtitles.
They are not. They are not. We move on to the next song where Sharon Max on like hologram Sharon tries to Mac on Dyson because Sharon is putting pieces together. She's reading Myung's reaction to seeing Dyson in the stands, and yeah, concert ends. Everyone's happy. It's the next day. We get another great guitar track, and we see the first flight of the YF-19. Whereupon Dyson just ignores the test schedule and hot dogs. He draws a duck. He draws a duck with contrails, which I assume conspiracy theorists on New Eden are insisting a rabbit out of chemtrails.
I did notice that the music's during the test flight sequences sounded a little Disney-like.
It's got some like Shostakovich to it too. It's like 20th century post-romantic kind of music. It's very nice. It's very different from everything else. I mean, but the important thing is that it lets us know that whatever highway we're on, not to the danger zone.
We are not going towards the danger zone.
No zones of danger at this point.
So I have noted scientist faints. Was that Yang? Did Yang pass out during that, or was that?
Yeah, Yang passed out. The new guy is breaking his toy. So we get a montage of Dyson just overdoing it, being a very good pilot.
An amazing montage.
This is a fantastic montage. Again, Top Gun really defined the power of the high concept movie and the role of the montage within the high concept movie. It's a shame that Days of Thunder completely collapsed that whole working relationship, because I would have loved to have seen like so many more of these, basically the exact same movie as Top Gun.
Just to go to a popular film essayist, are you familiar with the work of Patrick H. Willems?
Yes, I have seen Pat Willems. Yeah.
Okay, he did a video on.
He talked about like how Days of Thunder is the 80s-est movie ever. And of course, it is time for the Colonel to lecture Dyson, because he gives us another great phrase. Never carry daring and recklessness in the same pocket. I didn't realize spacesuits had pockets.
Of course they do. So I am noticing, yeah, he's a bit of a mad scientist, isn't he? He's performing
He is up to
some
some shit.
questionable stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of mad scientists, we see Marge buy a chip. Totally
Mhm.
safe. Totally normal. Probably fine.
To spec
To spec.
within guidelines.
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine for you to meet in a weird room in it with some guy and pay him cash for a chip that is labeled just advanced brain. The background
Hijack
English in
brain.
Yeah, the background English is actually pretty good in this. I am not seeing any filler text from Photoshop manuals yet. It all seems to be relevant to what is actually going on. Uh, we then are introduced to a new character, Kate. Kate is hanging out
Mhm.
with Myung at the Dino Beer Garden. And you know what this means to me? It means that Kate is the best character because she is like, no, my friend is in town. I am taking her to a dinosaur themed beer garden, and I am going to just house 60 ounces of beer right away. Because we see she's got two giant signs empty in front of her at the start.
Yes.
We get, yeah,
Happily married.
happily married, enjoying her life with her kids. Myung is in no way jealous of this. This does not make Myung feel bad at all. It's totally fine. She does not have a flashback to her childhood with hearing very young Dyson and very young Gold explain that they will always be there to protect her. No, sirree, Bob. Uh, After the flashback, we have a jump scare. We have a jump scare to the original Macross because we get a pop song from the original Macross. Because they're at
Okay.
karaoke and Kate is singing My Boyfriend is a Pilot, a real song from Macross.
Oh, there you go. I was
Yeah.
not familiar with that.
They even show a bit of the karaoke video is a bit from Do You Remember Love? So
Okay.
great use of the asset, really. So we see that at karaoke, Myung admits once again that she does not sing anymore. Kate's like, actually, that's really worrying. I'm gonna call my friend Dyson. I'm gonna get my space PDA, my little scroll. I love this bit of tech. I love that like it is just like, okay, people have phone books. In the future, they will have a phone book, but it's an LCD screen. So she like you
Yeah.
see like on one side she's got like this she can scroll through it to find Dyson's number. And calls Dyson and it's like, hey, your girlfriend's in town. We are getting drunk at karaoke. And she's upset. You need to come get drunk with us and make her not upset. And Dyson is like, actually, no, she's not my girlfriend. I don't need to sing anything. Music will not matter to me in the slightest in the near future. This is not a theme of the series. Music is how we connect to other people. It's definitely not a theme, Justin.
Okay. I will not keep an eye out for it recurring in the future then.
No, sir. No, sir. No one has to listen to anyone's song. And instead,
If that's
Dyson goes to
spontaneous.
Yang's house, where Yang has a nerd hole.
Oh,
He does not have a house. He has a nerd hole. It is a line from the door to the computer. The rest is covered in crap. I don't know where his bathroom is. He does not have a bed. You can smell the stale ramen cups right now. And he announces that he is going to hack Sharon again and steal all of her. He is going to steal all of
Hmm.
her. And he is going to accomplish that as soon as he can find the one part that's missing, a part that is actually Myung, because we established earlier that, yeah, Sharon does not have actual emotions. She can't simulate them at all. That's why Myung's in the rig. It's just so she's just puppeting the robot. She is there is a person in the ghost in the machine.
It's a literal ghost of a person who's not dead. I can't figure out how that works.
Yeah.
Someone. Yep.
Now Myung is having a little go to the office late at night to explain how you hate your job and your self time. a thing we all do.
Yeah.
We all go to the office at midnight and just yell at our tools and explain how we hate ourselves, right? That's a
So
thing we
it's a
all
lot
do.
more convenient when you work from home. I'm
It
just gonna
is.
say
It
that.
is. That certainly helps.
The home
That's
office just makes that so much more convenient.
it
I
really
can just come
does.
down here, scream at my laptop, and tell it how it's ruining my life.
Yep.
And then I can go to bed.
Yeah.
I can
Dyson.
do that in my pajamas. I don't have to be in my fancy going out for karaoke with an old friend clothes.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, you can put that on if you want because you're at home
I
and
could.
you're
Yes.
going out for karaoke with friends. Cause also convenient. Speaking of working from home, Dyson is having a totally normal time and just typing the letter M over and over. All Jack and no, all work and no play makes a Jack a dull. Mm. Another thing we all do at 1 in the morning, right? Just type the letter M over and over. We're all normal. We're all healthy.
Well, it's so close to the space bar. You can just leave your finger on it and just gaze
Yeah.
off into space.
Yeah.
Or while you're talking to your laptop about how much you hate your job.
Yeah. All comes
These are
together.
reasonable.
It's all reasonable. And then he gets a call from a robot. The robot explains that the San Francisco Giants Stadium will catch fire in 30 minutes. And he's like, "Okay." Dyson believes this because he thinks Kate is trying to punk him, which says a lot about Kate, actually. Maybe not my favorite character. Maybe it's her husband, Morgan. He seems all right.
Yes. He's looking after the kid.
He believes it, and so he hops on his motorcycle. And when he hops on his motorcycle, we find that he has the need for speed. Specifically, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, because the cops start chasing him, and his response is not to say, "Hi, officers. I am a high-ranking member of the military, and I have received creditable intelligence that a terrorist attack is happening nearby. Perhaps you should alert the fire department and follow me." No, he says, "I will speed even more."
I need even more speed.
Speaking of people not doing rational things, Gold is already on the scene, having gotten the same call at his car phone. He is going to the rescue because the door that Myung is in is locked, and we see that the camera is watching Gold bash the door, and then just opens the door for him after a couple tries, because the computer is trying to do a Cyrano but with fire.
What? That's a beautiful way to phrase it, by the way.
It's she's like, "No, my job, I'm a computer. My job depends on my co-pilot being happy. She'll only be happy if she gets laid. I need to arrange this." And she could just write a tender text message to Gold and encourage them to meet for lunch. But no fire. And
Fire.
no fire alarms, no water suppression. She's in the building. Her server's in the building. She could be
Yes.
damaged by
This
smoke.
could be dangerous.
This is highly irrational. Hal would not do this.
No.
Hal just jettisoned people into the cold vacuum of space.
Or it just turned
Which,
off their life support. Boom,
you know, a thing we all want to do.
I can't really say anything because I might agree. But yeah. It was fire.
Anyway, fire. Gould is able to escape while gets injured, helps them escape. Doesn't take her to the hospital. Bowman. Not
Yes.
cool. Not cool.
Yeah.
Smoke inhalation is very dangerous, Bowman. You might not know
I think
that.
that's why he did it, because he's also suffering from smoke inhalation.
That's true. They have Myung wakes up, tearful moments. They hug, they caress, they probably bone. Probably. Dyson just mopes. We get a medical report. The colonel receives a medical report because he followed up on his meeting with Gold, and it's like, oh yeah, Bowman is half Proud Warrior race guy, but his medical indicates he's taking Proud Warrior race guy suppression pills, and that's probably going to be bad for us. because that's not what you're supposed to do. Proud Warrior race guys, you can't take those pills too long. Also, it's the military, and that's dishonorable and lying to your superior officers and other things that are definitely not applicable to the position of anyone who might be taking pills to be themselves in the army right now.
They're overly efficient with characters
Yeah.
because even if they didn't have psychiatrists on it, which they should, Top Gun proved that.
Yes.
Steal that from them. That's one thing. Psychiatrists, the wingmen that they don't have to bounce off of.
No friends.
Also, they could say, "What's wrong, dude? What is up?"
Perhaps
If
we
you don't
should
have
hang
someone
out.
to tell you have a need for speed,
Yeah.
if you don't have someone you can go to a wing bar with and then launch into a rendition of "You've lost that loving feeling" to the psychiatrist.
Yeah. You can't if you cannot commandeer an entire Air Force bar to sing the
Navy,
greatest
Scott,
hits of
please.
soul, why would you why even? Like you have no one to play volleyball with, you have no one to sing with. These men are deprived. They are bowling alone, and it is hurting us all.
Perhaps that's it. It's a Space Force thing. The Navy, properly set up. Try and keep people from not snapping and killing each other. Space Force, one guy in a plane, you're on your own.
We're just gonna we're gonna assign you. We are gonna assign you one colonel to say things that are wise at you, and that's it.
It's the UN Space Military. All right.
Yeah.
UN Space Force. See, the UN Navy, much better setup.
Yeah, much better setup. The next morning, Gold is reading a newspaper. It is the future. It is a space newspaper. It is a clear sheet with little blocks of text on it that look exactly like a newspaper. Why is it printed on a clear sheet if it's going to behave exactly like a newspaper, guys? It's science fiction. That's why.
In the future, these transparencies are cheaper than paper.
I guess. Or more portable. Who knows?
Yes.
Gould definitely pushes Dyson's buttons. He implies things that are inappropriate to discuss, even among gentlemen in private. Some kissing and telling, which we don't do. And so we get to our next thing where we see that the 19 and the 21 are going to fly up, and instead of doing whatever scheduled tests they were going to do, possibly involving shooting paintballs at drones or I don't know, driving in circles real fast, important space flight test stuff, they are
Yes.
going to fight. They are going to get into a fist fight. This is an unscheduled fist fight test, and it escalates. There's drama. It's very well animated. It's all good. Again, we get our post romantic classical music going, and then Dyson gets hurt real bad because guess what? Gould
Yeah.
has just lost his shit and is gonna beat him to death.
There was a rocket kick involved.
There was a rocket involved.
Paintball tracer rounds, which I can't quite really get my brain around because tracer's just going to be bad. And even if the thing is filled with paint.
Well, like it would also like evaporate or ignite the paint. If I'm remembering how tracers are supposed to work, they're a mild incendiary, right?
Yeah. I mean, put a little block, but I don't know. Like, I am not a weapons science guy. I'm not even a weapon guy or a science guy, much less the two of them combined.
Bill Nye,
I am
the
a lover, not a
pacifist
fighter.
guy.
Yes, I'm fond of pacifism because it's much less painful. It's if someone's going to start something, they're fine, whatever. I'm not going to start something. So there's like 50% of fights there that aren't happening. Oh, I hope that doesn't come back to kick me in the ass in the future. Anyway, yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So anyway, we end with Myung getting a phone call, possibly about what just happened, possibly about something else. From who? We'll never. We don't know. We don't know. We're not sure.
Yeah, I suspect we will know at some point, though.
Yeah, probably soon.
Possibly
probably soon.
Immediately at the start of episode 3.
Like if we let the Disney Plus just flip over, it probably start us there. So we are now halfway through a 4-episode series. Where do you think this goes?
The computer's going to be manipulative. The scientist is probably going to do something that will cause it to get worse. Love quadrangle. I don't know. love Pentagon with the scientist and the AI. That's not going to actually benefit anyone. I'm not sure. Based on what you said, the AI will go menacing at some point. Just proving that you can't just put something in a red dress and expect it to be happy. But yes, visually it's delightful.
Yeah.
The animation is very nice. I find it a little hard to keep track of all of the characters in the first episode or two, but now they have gelled. And sexy science lady. Uh, I'm not sure why Maverick is really being a jerk about the old friend. It's like, let her be happy. Let her hang out with his half alien bud and do her magic stuff. This scientist lady digs my
Lucy seems
incredibly.
nice. Yeah, Lucy seems
Yeah.
nice and is like on board for his nonsense in a way that I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, like I'm sorry, like you threatened her life with a near miss with an oil tanker, and she's fine.
That was
She bought you like a
anytime you
fish
can see
sandwich. Yeah.
yes. Anytime you can see your reflection in a tanker, you're also seeing the entirety of your life stretching backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
So
The
that was
forwards
a
is real
terrifying moment.
close due to
Yeah, forwards is like 2 minutes
for
at this point.
mostly because of his actions, but also redshift.
Yes. was but so yeah, she's cool with it and very attractive woman. Just chill, one of you. I mean, it's like, your old friend emotionally has problems, and if you're not going to try and solve them, keep your distance and try not to let anyone else get hurt if something happens. But this is a poorly organized military, Scott. I'm just going to say, test pilots still require. It's like the right stuff is 30% is like 30% psychological and physical testing. Like at no point have I seen either of these guys with a pipe up their butts. So I'm just like, what is going on here? Why are they not taking better care of these guys? Ugh. Space. No one is responsible.
No one.
And how is pop music going to affect these people? It's like, is being half alien make you immune to the confusing effects of pop music? I don't know. Was that why he wasn't at the concert? Are alien people and their partial descendants allowed to attend musical concerts, or are they afraid that they will freeze? I don't know. I've not seen the Robotech, Scott. I don't know. Tell me, am I even close to this thing here?
Yeah, like part of it is that like part of it is also like the Zentradi government was like kind of fascist and corrupt and cracked down on all culture, just any cultural export that wasn't shooting dudes.
Okay.
So like reintroducing that to them was very bad and at the end of Macross, but then they they're acclimatizing. They got to build up a tolerance. They obviously a full pop song with choreography and a light show, too much at once. They gotta cool it off. They gotta have some lo-fi beats first. They gotta start at lo-fi beats, and then they can go to a full hologram show.
So in the intervening decades, we assume they've received. So it's perfectly cool for the Zentradi citizens to. I really am a little miffed that we're going that you dropped me into the middle of this.
It's fine. It's great. Like in the next series, Macross 7, full size series, one of the people in the band is Zentradi.
There you go.
So they're getting along.
I was assuming Zentradi they'd be more into.
Well, in Macross 7 is about rock.
Okay.
It's the only one with a rock band, which makes it one of the best ones. Also because the main character is just an idiot. Just a delightful idiot. Pure golden retriever.
You're not getting a lot of delightful from my idiots in this show, Scott. I'm just going to say that much.
That's very true. So anyway, I will say that for now, we will be back. Obviously, go forth in the name of rate, review, and recommend. Check us out on Ko-fi. Check us out, because again, if you back us on Ko-fi, you get things early, including possibly a episode where I just explain every legal kerfuffle related to Macross I can.
Do it.
Again,
and we're on YouTube.
yes, we are on YouTube. We
You
are
can
on.
listen to the show on YouTube.
Yeah, we are on. We are wherever you get your podcasts, and yeah, possibly a website soon. Actually, for convenience, my convenience more than anything. Not necessarily yours. We're on Spotify. That's convenient enough for most people.
That is just everyone loves a good Spotify.
There we go.
Although I am strongly considering just ditching it.
Yeah.
What I'm paying for YouTube Premium, probably, if it's half as useful, let's go for it. But anyway, yes. Like and subscribe, kids.